This is KRC Kitengela, the church to belong, where everybody is somebody.
Shalom and praise be to the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Pastor Edith Gakera. I'm blessed of the Lord, and I'm happy and humbled once again, to be here to invite you, our viewers, and I believe that it's going to be a blessing to you. Last week, we had a quite interesting discussion. It was about creating harmony between our parents and our young ones, the youth. We call them the youth, that's the right word, the youth. Creating harmony between our parents and the youth. And we decided that, it's quite a long discussion, quite a long and a huge topic that cannot be done in a day or two. So we decided to move on, to continue with it today. And I'm not alone. I'm joined by our resident panelists. On my far left, I have Pastor Lucy Mailu, Pastor Lucy Wangeshi Mailu. She is a pastor here at Kenya Redeemed Church, and professionally, she is a teacher here. Just beside me on my left side, we have Professor Samuel Munguti, who is a professor of economics at University of Nairobi, and he is also a pastor. On my right side, today we decided to bring in our youth, as we had done last week, and we decided to bring a different lady here who was not in our panel last week. So she's here, and I would want to give her a minute to introduce herself, to let us know who you are, and God is going to bless you. So introduce yourself to our viewers, and God is going to bless you.
My name's Joan Wanjiru. I am saved. I'm in university pursuing human resource management, and I'm blessed to have a chance to take part in this conversation. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Joan Wanjiru. God bless you for being together with us. And I believe that today's discussion is going to be a blessing to somebody. I cannot forget to remind you to continue liking our Facebook page, Kenya Redeemed Church Kitengela. Continue just rush in there immediately. Go and tag a friend, invite your family. Let them know that we are having quite an interesting discussion, and especially to the youth, and especially to the parents. We would want to know, what does it mean to have a harmonious relationship between these youth and the parents? So I invite you, feel welcomed, feel invited to give us your comments, feel invited to give us your views. We would love to hear from you. And before the end of the show, I'll sample 1 or 2 comments. So keep it there, invite them, let us know. And immediately, without taking further ado, I would want us to jump into this discussion today. And I want to begin with our resident panelist, Professor. I would, even if we are going to refer and to do us just a small recap in a minute, let's go back a bit so that for them that were not together with us last week, we'll be able to catch up with us today. So what's having a harmonious relationship? What does it mean to have a harmonious relationship between our parents and our young ones? Professor, feel invited to highlight this one.
Thank you, Pastor. Very important topic of the day, creating an harmonious relationship between parents and the youth. The first question would be, what is that harmonious relationship we're talking about? I'll approach it from 2 angles. The first angle is the spiritual angle. The other angle is the normal so-called natural angle. An harmonious relationship is actually a cordial or peaceful existence between 2 or more people. It could be a young person with parents. It could be between groups of people. It could be in a church environment. So where there is understanding, there is peace, and there is good communication, connection with the other person. That is basically a cordial relationship. It is captured very well by the former Mother Teresa of Calcutta, the so-called Saint Teresa. She says, I quote her, "To serve others must start with the person nearest to you. In other words, charity begins at home. From the biblical point of view, harmony is actually a command from God. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. The Lord commands us to live in harmony with each other, to be in peace with each other, to agree with each other. Because the moment you start disagreeing with the other person, with if it's a youth with a parent, if it is a wife with a husband, if it's a husband with a wife, if it is in a community environment with other people, the moment you start doing that, then you create an environment which is of not harmonious but disharmony. And that disharmony is the one which the Bible commands us to eliminate from our Christian life. Thank you.
Let me, before I go to Pastor Lucy, let me bring Joan into this discussion. Joan, I believe you've had the definitions of harmony and disharmony. Have you ever had a disharmonious relationship with your parents? Maybe you can share in a minute or two. And what in particular? What was it?
Yes, I have had disharmony among me and my parents. And it's because they expect a lot from you. As a firstborn, they expect a lot. You should not mess up anything. You're supposed to be this person who is to be looked up.
Perfect.
And and you huwezi jitetea. What they expect from you, you are supposed to fulfill what they expect from you. So it was kind of, it was just juicy because my brother was not around. So when they come, they ask me, "Where is your brother?" Every day, instead of asking him where he is from, they always ask me, na sijui penye ameenda hata hajaniomba ruhusa masaa ingine. So you end up being frustrated. Sometimes unaamua kukua silent. When you are silent, unakuambia kweli sasa naongelesha nani? Kwa nini ujibu? And when you answer, sometimes because you are frustrated, you might end up saying the wrong words. So being silent is the best key, but they can't understand that. They want you to give the answer instead of asking him where he's from. And that is the most recent.
Wow, that's so great. Thank you for sharing. Good. And Professor and Pastor Lucy, we are still coming back to the issue of firstborns. And we highlighted it last week when even the other youths, Shiro was not there, Joan was not there. But what she's saying exactly it was spoken about last week. And they said, I being the firstborn, there is one who gave us an example. I being the firstborn, I'm expected to do this and this. And you know, the rest of the siblings, you think that they are mature, but still the parents are entrusting you. And like Joan has shared, that she's always asked, where is your brother? And she thinks that the brother is a grown-up. He should be able to explain himself. He should be able to ask for permission wherever he goes. So parents, I know we are learning a lot here. And we really need to hear from them. Because maybe what we think is wrong is not wrong to them. What we think is right, it's not right to them. So let's give them platforms like this one so that we can hear. Pastor Lucy, we've talked about disharmony. And I would want you to come in and tell us, what are the symptoms of disharmony between our parents and our young ones? What are the symptoms? How are you able to tell that this relationship is full of disharmony?
Thank you, Pastor Edith. Thank you. Thank you, viewers, for staying tuned. There are many symptoms of harmony. When there is no harmony among people living together, signs will automatically come up. Because when we talk about harmony, we are talking about being able to handle the social, the emotional, physical, even financial aspects of life. And when then harmony lacks, then that means you're not able to handle the social, the emotional, the physical, personal, financial aspects. And therefore it can touch in all areas or all aspects of life. And so I can look at one symptom is there is misunderstanding. All conflict arises. where there is no harmony, where there is harmony, there is people are coping with one another. They can go along one another. They respect each other opinion. But when there is no harmony, there is disharmony. You will see there will be misunderstanding, and in misunderstanding there will be a conflict between one and the other, and even among the people. The other one, there is poor communication. It is a symptom. Like Shiro has talked about it. She has said when the parents come, they ask her where the brother is, and she may not have an answer, and she opts at times to keep quiet. Keeping quiet is not. I may not give it as a way of dealing with such a situation, but it calls for her at times to be quiet, so that maybe it doesn't create disharmony between her and the parent. And so you realize that there will be poor communication. When there is that poor communication, the communication line is cut because of disharmony. And so people will be looking at each other's back. They are not facing one on one. They are not facing each other. They are turning against. They are turning against one another. They are turning to their backs to the other. And so you realize there is that poor communication. The other one is it may also lead to even Shiro has also mentioned that frustration, stress, also burnout. Because of the disharmony. When there is the disharmony, it will be reflected in a different way. Shiro has talked about you feel frustrated. There is also stress, building up of stress. There is also burnout among the people who are living together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so powerful. I guess you are taking in notes. Those are so strong points that we really need to hear from our guest panel, for our resident panelists and also our guest panelists. When we listen to them, we know where we are. You know, sometimes we pretend, sometimes we assume that we don't know, but this is the real life situation. So Shiro, back to you. Would you tell us, what do you think makes your parents comfortable? That maybe, like you said earlier, that they really have high expectations to you as a firstborn. They really expect you to do things perfectly. What else do you think makes them comfortable? Maybe when you do something, you know, this one, my parents are so happy when I do this.
Yeah. Okay, when they find all the chores are done, the house is nice and clean, and maybe I have put pressure on my brother to study. Yeah, that makes them happy. But on the other hand, when you make a slight mistake, they magnify the mistake. And when you do something nice, si rahisi ati ku-appreciate, ama realize. But they always sasa ufanye hivi mistake. You will be compared with everyone. They will say, hey, watoto wengine wakoangi hivi. But when you do a good thing, they won't talk much about it as much as the time they will take when they are rebuking you, telling you this is what you did is wrong. But when you have done something good, they won't take that much time to appreciate.
And I tell you, Joan, let me interject from there. I tell you, it's not just the parents. Actually, my resident panelist can bear me witness. With any team, even at your home, sometimes you wash utensils, you do the laundry. You expect when your husband or when your wife, let me say, when your husband and when the kids come or when the parents come, you expect them to say, wow, you've done it. But they don't. Then they come and they find a cup on the table. They begin asking, why is this cup not here? They can't see everything else you have been doing the whole day. They can only see that cup. So that's noted. And Professor, I want to bring it.
Pastor, before we go to that, I think Shiro, Joanne is raising some very fundamental issues, very critical for the discussion we are tackling right now. Let me capture slightly a bit of that. That's exactly what Pastor Lucy was talking about. Dr. Phil captures it in a quotation. He says, in relationships, words are sharper than swords, but silence is violent than a bullet.
Wow. Wow.
In other words,
You can
what?
come again.
Yes.
Come
Let me
again.
come again.
Uh-huh.
This is Dr. Phil. I quote him. In relationships, words are sharper than swords, but silence is violent than a bullet shooting somebody. A few more just to add on to what Pastor Lucy has just talked about on symptoms.
Go ahead.
Another symptom which you can very easily come to is inability to share the small things, including even a meal. Yeah? And you find in an environment where people cannot heartily laugh with each other. In other words, sharing, light moments in an environment. Another symptoms would be lack of sympathy. Sometimes you need sympathy from your parents.
Yes.
Sometimes you need sympathy from your spouse. You need sympathy from the community around you. If it is lacking, then that is a sign of disharmony. Another one would be there will be no feelings
Yes.
for other people, for each other. In other words, feelings just disappear because harmony, that is the peace that's supposed to be there, is no longer there. And the last one here would be, in that situation, you create what psychologists actually call a pressure cooker effect. In other words, instead of letting air circulate, instead of letting people vent off what's hitting them, what is actually burning in themselves, you push it there, and when it's there, there is that boiling effect, and when there is that boiling effect, there's no peace. So you need to release that pressure, the pressure cooker effect, you release it, it deflates, and then you can have some element of peace and tranquility among us people or groups of people.
And like Joan has said, these are real life situations. And she talked about something that I would want Pastor Lucy to come in and tell us. I don't know what word. Can I say competition? Okay. Competition or comparison.
Comparison.
That's the word. Comparison. Comparing your kid with the other. Like, for example, in my house, sometimes I know kid A is perfect in doing this, kid B is perfect in doing this. So if they interchange or if she doesn't do the other thing the way I expect, I start saying, why are you not doing it like so and so? So Pastor Lucy, in a minute, can you tell us how that that aspect comes in, the aspect of comparison? In a minute.
Thank you, Pastor Edith. I would start by saying that this is very common with the parent. I'm a parent, I'm a mother, and it is very common, whereby we keep on comparing siblings. We compare, and sometimes we go to them that have done good, and we compare with
And
that.
we reward them.
And and at times we place them in a position of feeling, the other one feeling frustrated. So I would begin by saying that it is wrong, number one, for you to compare children. We are all created different. We also have different personality. By the some are sanguine, some are choleric, some are melancholic, some are phlegmatic. So we are very different.
True.
And therefore, the way I'll do things, or the way one sibling will do a thing, is not the way the other one will do.
Yeah.
Let us also look at even the IQ, even when it comes to academics, intelligent quotient. We are gifted differently. So in school, the one kid might be performing so well from the same father and same mother, but the other one might be performing so poorly. And that is it's according to the intelligent skill or the intelligent level, the intelligence level. So you don't have to compare this one with the one that doesn't perform with the one that performs. You frustrate this one even from putting efforts, even from wanting to move up higher, or even becoming the better me.
Yes.
So you may frustrate a child, you may make them get disappointed, they will develop low esteem because of that thing called comparison.
Wow.
Never compare a child with the other. No matter what, everyone is gifted differently.
Sure.
Take them as different as they are.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
that's so great. Key points there. And I want to believe that we are continuing in this conversation together with you, our viewers. We are so grateful. We are so humbled. We love you. We value you because we cannot do this alone. We really need you. And we want to urge you that you may continue liking our Facebook page. Also, we have a YouTube channel. Kenya Redeemed Church Kitengela. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let your friends subscribe. Let your family members subscribe. And I know that's going to be a blessing. So in a minute, allow us to go for a short break, and we take a sip of water, then we shall return back. Keep it there. We are going to be back. God bless you, and God do you good.
Amen.
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 Amen. Amen.
This is KRC Kitengela, the church to belong, where everybody is somebody.